billions of dollars are lost because of corruption and bribery. While some people believe bribery is just a shortcut to success, its consequences can destroy business careers and public trust. Today we will present a story about how one unethical decision changed the life of many people.
Everyone, we have a golden opportunity. The government has announced a 80 million ringgit construction project. Winning this project will make our company the market leader.
Our proposal is strong. However, another company has offered a much lower price.
I don't care how. I want us to win. Thank you for meeting me.
Sorry for this disturb. Wan Farhana, I have received your proposal and reviewed it. But honestly, another company deserves it.
So, what can we do?
You know how business works?
I think we can reach an agreement.
Congratulations, this project is yours.
Pleasure doing business.
This isn't right.
Congratulations everyone, we won the government project.
Miss, may I ask you something?
Yes?
Did we really win this fairly?
Some questions are left unanswered.
Miss, but the bribery is illegal.
If you want to keep your job, forget what you saw.
We are officers from the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. We have received information regarding bribery involving this company. Okay.
Today, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission arrested the CEO of ABC Construction, a government officer, for allegedly exchanging bribes related to a government construction project. The company is now under investigation. Several major investors have withdrawn their investments. Employees fear losing their jobs. Public confidence has significantly declined.
So hi everyone, so today our group will be presenting on corporate bribery, ethic governance and accountability. So corporate bribery is a serious issue that affects businesses, governance and society. It happens when someone offers, gives, receives or asks for something valuable in exchange for unfair advantages or favorable decisions. Okay, so let's begin by understanding what bribery actually means. So, bribery refers to the act of offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting something of value to influence someone's decision unfairly. The something of value can include money, expensive gifts, luxury trips, special favors, or other personal benefits. So, bribery goes against the principles of honesty, fairness, and merit because decisions are no longer based on qualifications or what is right, but instead of personal gain. So, why does this matter? Bribery undermines integrity in both businesses and public institutions. It destroys trust between companies, customers, investors, and the public. Instead of making decisions based on competence and ethics, decisions become influenced by corruption. So, besides being unethical, bribery is also illegal in many countries. For example, laws such as the US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act (FCPA) and the UK Bribery Act impose strict penalties on companies and individuals involved in bribery. Therefore, organizations must promote ethical behavior and strong governance to prevent corruption.
Why does bribery happen? There are three main reasons: competitive pressure, abuse of power, and weak internal controls. So the first one is competitive pressure. Companies may resort to bribery to secure contacts or market advantage quickly, especially in high competitive or emerging markets. The second one is abuse of power. Individuals in position of authority may exploit their role of personal financial gain, placing self-interest above organizational values. The last one is weak internal controls, inadequate oversight, poor government structure, and less compliant system create environments where unethical behavior goes undetected.
So on this slide, we look at four major groups that impacted when a company gets caught in bribery scandal. So the first one is shareholder. Shareholder face diminished profit and declining company value as legal penalties and reputational damage come. Basically, the owners of the company lose money when the company into a bribery scandal and it is exposed. They will impact a stock price drop, and the company has to pay huge legal fines, which is impact the shareholder investment. Secondly is employee. They may risk job losses, workplace uncertainty, and moral distress when organizational integrity collapse. This is because the regular staff suffers too. They have to worry about losing their jobs, dealing with unstable workplace, also feeling bad about working for a corrupt company. So the third one is customer. They may lose confidence in the company product and services, often taking their business elsewhere. Like when the customer put trust on the company, but sadly the company is into bribery scandal. Once customers find out that brand is corrupt, they lose faith in them and start buying from competitors instead. And lastly, government and society suffer from reduced public trust, distort competition, and weaken institutional integrity. On a large scale, bribery ruins fair play in the market and makes the public lose trust in both corporations and government system. Okay, for this slide, we talk about two things, which is agency theory and stakeholder theory. For agency theory, it explains the relationship between the shareholder, which is principal, and also management, which is agents. When executive act for personal gains, as in bribery, they breach their fiduciary duty to shareholder, which is wrong because as a director, they must put company interest first above their own personal interest to make a decision. Okay, basically, shareholder are the owner of the company and manager are hired to run things for them. Manager have legal and moral duty to act in owner's best interest, but when executive use bribery, they break that trust to chase its own goals. For stakeholder theory, they argue that a company must consider all parties affected by its decision, not just shareholder. Bribery directly harm employee, customer, government, and society at a large scale. Unlike agency theory, stakeholder theory looks at the bigger picture. It says a business is responsible to everyone it is impact, not just the people holding the stock. When the bribery happen, it impact and affect everyone from the staff to the public.
Next, let's examine corporate bribery from two major ethical perspectives, which is utilitarian theory and Kantian or deontological theory. First is the utilitarian theory. This theory states that an action is ethical if it produces the greatest good for the greatest number of people. In the case of bribery, a company may benefit in the short term by winning a contract or increasing profits. However, the negative consequences affect many more people, including competitors who lose unfairly, customers who may receive lower quality products or service, employees who may lose trust in the organization, and society as a whole. Therefore, because the overall harm outweighs the benefits, utilitarianism concludes that bribery is unethical. Now, let's look at the Kantian or deontological theory. Unlike utilitarianism, Kantian ethics focus on duty, principles, and moral rules rather than the outcomes of an action. According to this theory, people should always act honestly and treat others fairly, regardless of the consequences.
Bribery is considered unethical because it involves dishonesty, manipulation, and unfair treatment. Even if bribery leads to business success, it still violates the moral principle of integrity and honesty. Therefore, from the Kantian perspective, bribery is always unethical. In conclusion, although these two theories use different approach, which one focusing on consequences and the other on moral duty, and both reach the same conclusion, which is corporate bribery cannot be ethically justified, this highlights the importance of strong corporate governance, accountability, and ethical decision making in organizations.
Now I will explain the consequences of the bribery. The first consequences is legal action. When a company is involved in bribery, both the company and the people responsible can face criminal charges. They may have to pay heavy fines or even go to prison. This shows that bribery is not only unethical but also illegal. The second consequences is reputational damage. Once the public know about the bribery, the company's reputation will be damaged. Customer, business partner, and the public may no longer trust the company. It may take many years to build a good reputation, but it can be destroyed very quickly. The third consequences is loss of investor trust. Investors want to invest in a honest and responsible company. If a company is involved in bribery, investors may withdraw their money. This can reduce the company's value and make it difficult to get financial support in the future. Overall, bribery brings serious legal, financial, and reputational problems to a company. Based on this slide, I will explain the key recommendation for the board and company leader. First, leaders should introduce and communicate a clear code of ethics so that everyone will understand the company's anti-bribery policy. Second, they should provide regular ethic trainings to all employees, especially for those who are working in high-risk positions such as procurement and finance. Thirdly, the company should strengthen internal control by conducting regular audit, monitoring financial transactions, and requiring proper approval before making important decisions. Lastly, the company should provide whistleblowing channels where employees can report bribery anonymously. At the same time, the company must protect whistleblowers from retaliation. In the conclusion, when the leader promotes honesty, transparency, and accountability, they can reduce bribery and build a more ethical and successful organization.
As conclusion, our discussion shows that bribery may bring short-term benefits, but it causes long-term damage to the company and society. Good corporate governance promotes accountability, transparency, and ethical leadership. Remember, lasting success comes from integrity, not corruptions. Thank you.